I'm in the game to win some. She didn't want to roll with me until she seen a friend.
Alright, welcome everybody to episode 1 of Why the Fuck Is This Card Banned? It's your boy Retro, and to compliment me in this series, I got my boy Rambo here to explain why certain cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Decade Duels are banned. Now, we do know that the ban list in the real card game is different from the ban list in this particular video game, so we know about that. So in episode 1, we're going to focus on this particular card, Change Your Heart. Now, for all the newbies out there, I'm going to go ahead and let Rambo explain what this card does.
Alright, cool. So, Change Your Heart basically lets you target your opponent's monster and bring it to your side of the field. It's not permanent, it's just for one turn.
Yeah, so it's considered a control card, basically gain control of an opponent's monster. Now, why the hell would they ban Change of Heart and Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Decade Duels? Make sense of that.
I mean, I tried to make sense of it. I mean, throughout the course of this video, we're going to talk about it a lot. But to make sense of it, first we got to look at the cards that they pretty much replaced with Change of Heart, which are cards like Brain Control, Mind Control, and Enemy Controller. Now, all of these cards do the same thing that Change Your Heart does, but they're pretty much toned down or watered down versions. Brain Control, you have to sacrifice 800 life points in order to gain control of your opponent's monster. Mind Control, you can gain control of your opponent's monster, but you can't tribute it, synchro it, or sacrifice it. Enemy Controller, you have to have a monster on your side of the field, and you have to sacrifice them to gain control of your monster. In the end, none of these effects are permanent or last long. And all of the drawbacks from those three cards are pretty much minor. So I'm not understanding what's the big deal with Change of Heart.
Yeah, so exactly. So a card like Brain Control, where you gotta pay 800 life points, which is the only difference from Change of Heart. You have to pay 800 life points, and you give the monster back to the opponent if you don't tribute, synchro, or fusion summon at the end of the turn. So why would a card that pretty much has the same effect be banned? Like it don't make sense to me. Now, I can see if it was like a huge drawback where, you know, the card, you get control of your monster and you get to keep it. But even still, that's not really something that you would ban because it's the same as some of the other cards that you were mentioning before. Go ahead. It has the same effect. Doesn't make sense to me.
Right, and when I look at the card Change Your Heart, I try to compare it to a card like Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn, you don't sacrifice anything. You just get to lay down a spell card, and you can pick whatever you want from the graveyard. If it was an Obelisk Torment in the graveyard, I could summon that. If it was a Slife for the Sky Dragon in the graveyard, I could summon that.
Exactly.
That card's not banned.
Now, here's the crazy part about it. If you're gonna, first of all, then you need to ban Brain Control. If you're gonna make Brain Control limited to 1, then Change Your Heart needs to be limited to 1. It just doesn't even itself out when you have one that's banned and one that's limited to the 1, and they pretty much do the same exact thing.
Right. Personally, I feel like no card should be banned. I can understand you limiting people to having certain amounts of a certain card, because let's face it, if there was no limits, I would have about 4 or 5 Monster Reborns in my deck, or about 4 or 5 Change of Hearts in my deck.
Right. Let's break this down even a little bit more. In certain situations where Change of Heart is definitely necessary, we've already talked about a little bit, but let's just say a situation where I got a level 4 tuner out and your opponent has a level 4 monster. Bam, use Change of Heart, steal your opponent's monster, synchro summon for a level 8, let's just say Stardust or Red Dragon Archfiend or Colossal Fighter or whatnot. So not only does your opponent not get the monster back, but I gain control of a level 8 monster, bam, and that could be a game changer for me. So I could see why it's banned in a way, but my thing is, I can do the same exact thing with Brain Control, and it's free for me to use. I can use at least 1 copy of it. Not to mention, if you have a magic card that can bring back a spell card to your hand, that's basically 2 Brain Controls in your hand.
Correct.
So you see, there are situations where Brain Control could even be abusive. I mean, me and you both use Brain Control. You more than me, but if you agree that it's a good card and shouldn't be banned, why does a card that doesn't require no pay ban?
then that is the big question. Because like we were talking about for Monster Reborn, I checked out a couple cards that pretty much did the same thing, like Call of the Haunted, Premature Burial. All of those cards require sacrifice or actually stay on the field as sort of an equip to it. You know, if the trap or magic card dies and the monster goes with it. Monster Reborn immediately leaves the field when your card comes on the field. So I don't understand why cards that actually require payment are banned, but cards that don't require it aren't.
Yeah,
but it's vice versa for Change of Heart.
Monster Reborn isn't even a continuous card or whatever. So basically, if Monster Reborn is going to feel Premature Burial, though, if Premature Burial is gone, then your monster is also gone as well. And you have to pay life points for Premature Burial. So let me just, before we wrap this up, give me a situation where you have used brain control.
Situation where I've used brain control. I've actually used brain control to take control of an opponent's Goyo Guardian, attack his Exploder Dragon, Goyo Guardian dies, but I get the Exploder Dragon.
Right. I've also, I was thinking about this yesterday when we were playing. I didn't use brain control, but let's just say you have a Goyo Guardian and you have a, like you used later, beast Gazaris. I take brain control for your Goyo Guardian. Attack your Gazaris. Now I have Gazaris. Effects kicks in. I get to destroy 2 cards. So not only will you not be getting your Goyo Guardian back because I get to take control of it. I took control with the brain control, but Gazaris gets rid of it with its effect.
Right.
So
and that is vicious.
That is vicious. So I can kind of see why it should be banned. But I just don't understand why a card that requires payment is banned and a card that doesn't require payment, which does the exact same thing, is not. I mean, it's banned. So it makes no sense. 5Ds, you kind of fucked up the ban cards. But let's talk about next week. What next week's premiere card is, Rambo.
Next week's premiere card shall be Pot of Greed. A lot of you Exodia fans.
Yeah, but we're going to say that for next week. So for all you people out there watching, tell us why you think Change of Heart shouldn't be banned, or do you think it actually should be banned? Let us know in the comment section below. And you can hit up Rambo. Remember to subscribe to Rambo. He got some good videos coming up. And like I said, we're going to be talking about Pot of Greed next week. So if you're interested, make sure you subscribe to both of us because we're going to do that video. We're going to do this series about twice a week. So something for you guys to look forward to. We're going to lay off a little bit of dueling and actually focus on some cards here. So it's your boy Retro and Rambo. We're out. Peace.
Pudding.
Pudding.